the waiting had to be the worst of it. The only possible, the very only possible thing worse than the waiting would be the knowing. The knowing they had killed your boy. No, not killed. Killed would have been an automobile accident. And you had to be grateful that the only scar left was that lip. And of course, that stutter. That stutter was so frustrating to him because he didn't want to stutter. He wanted to talk strong and manly like his daddy did and take care of his mother. Maybe he was on the road alone, walking back to Uncle Moses' house, dreaming as he was prone to do, just not paying attention. I mean, how many times had you tried to tell him, pay attention, boy? And he smiled that smile, that babyish smile, and he said, I'm a good boy, mama. And went right on not paying attention. But not killed. But I mean, this was, after all, Mississippi. Who was Emmett Till? In August of 1955, a young black boy was visiting his family in Mississippi when he was brutally murdered by two white men in the middle of the night. His crime? Allegedly whistling at a white woman in a convenience store. What happened afterwards changed this country's history forever, and it was all set in motion by the courageous Mamie Till Mobley. In Death of Innocence by Nikki Giovanni, she details a painful account of a mother's ability to transform her tragedy into boundless hope and courage. Death of Innocence by Nikki Giovanni. Killed most likely was 2 or 3 or 4 mean white boys riding around in a pickup truck. And Emmett was on the road alone. And those poor Mississippi crackers were jealous of his shoes and his pants. Those jealous, crazy Mississippi crackers riding around a pickup truck looking for something to do to any girl they could find alone or somebody black too small to defend himself. And maybe those crazy Mississippi boys grabbed him and they wrestled him down. Maybe they hit him and kicked him and they threw him in the river. They didn't know. They didn't care. They didn't care that he couldn't swim. And they watched him flail and then they laughed and they drove off, and my baby tried and tried, but the water pulled him down and he had to give up his spirit. Maybe that's what they mean when they say kill. Emmett was missing. That's what the phone call in the middle of the night said. Emmett is missing. Mr. Bryant and Mr. Millam came to get him at 2 a.m. And that's not an hour people come to get you when they only intend to teach you a lesson. That's the hour when they intend to murder you. There was someone else in the truck bed. A woman, a black man. It's Mr. Bryant's Uncle Mose. Open the door. I want the boy from Chicago. The one who did all that talking. They offered to pay. They offered to whip him good. They said he was simple-minded and didn't know what he was saying. They said, please. But they took my boy. Just a barely 14-year-old boy trying to impress his Mississippi cousins. They would laugh at his stutter. They would ape his doo-wop walk. He wanted to show them he wasn't afraid. Hey, yo, you so tough. You from Chicago, go talk to that white woman in the store. You so tough, go talk to that white woman. They knew. They knew the danger. They knew he would probably take a good whooping from somebody, Mr. of Bryant's Uncle Mose, somebody would show him that just because he was from Chicago, his mama was from Webb, and this is Mississippi. And the cousins knew how this system worked. But not the crippled, stuttering boy from Chicago. Oh, they would show him, never thinking 3 days later there would be a knock at the door. At first, nobody knew. Whatever was said, the black community held its breath. But Bryant was away with his half-brother Miller. Miller was a mean cracker. Bragged he knew how to take care of Negroes. 3 days passed and nothing was said. But Bryant came home and some little black Judas asked him, "What you gonna do about that boy from Chicago who did all that talking to your wife?" Carolyn Bryant hadn't said a word about it. She knew what would happen. She knew what he did to her. She knew what he did to the kids. And she didn't want it on her plate. But some little black Judas asked him, "What you gonna do?" Did he think there would be a show? That Bryant would